Video number 11 in my Manners for Kids series, and today I'm going to talk about the top 5 polite behaviors to encourage in your children. Okay, so I will talk about these top 5 behaviors as well as the reasons why they are so important. So those reasons are going to focus around the concept of it's the most apparent, so it's the most obvious to other people, this kind of behavior. And the second thing is because it lays the foundations for other polite and gracious behavior as they develop and grow into young adults and then adults. Okay, so the first is saying hello. So saying hello and greeting people is very important. It's very important because it is a social nicety. It is one of the everyday etiquette social niceties. It's probably the number one. Saying hello, getting comfortable saying hello to adults, getting comfortable to saying hello to people that you don't know, and making introductions is essential because it's a life skill they're gonna need to continue as they grow. And it's important that they get used to doing that as a child. It's also very important because it kind of gives them a sense of pride and purpose too. So when you're introducing and saying hello to somebody you don't know, introducing your child and having your child be able to say hello and interact with that person, it gives them a sense of pride and of inclusion and as well as responsibility. So that's very important. Number 2, looking in the eye. So when they are saying hello or they're greeting adults or other children, it's important to look people in the eye. Now, I've talked about this in other videos, but looking people in the eye is very important because it creates engagement with that person. It shows that you are listening, that you care, and you're giving them respect by doing that. In a lot of cultures, if you don't look people in the eye or towards their face, then you are not being respectful or engaging, and people will think that you are being potentially rude. So that's very important. Again, it's a life skill that they're going to have to continue as they grow up. Number 3, using please and thank yous. Please and thank yous are so important because they lay foundation of niceties. They also go with the point 1, which is that it's a very obvious thing. So if you hear a child saying please and thank you, immediately that child is like, wow, that child is really polite. Wow, they're really well raised. It's like an immediate indicator. It's the same thing when they become adults. As an adult, if you hear somebody saying please and thank you, immediately you think, well, that person is polite, that person is, what a kind person. It obviously sets a positive for every interaction moving forward. So as they grow from children to young adults, adolescents, then to adults, and they develop and they grow, it's important that they continue to build on those. It's like a foundation. Step number 2, it's a foundation for all of the gracious behavior moving forward because you'll be using this for the rest of their life. Number 4, table manners. Table manners are really important as well. And I'm talking about table manners that are appropriate for your child's age. So table manners in general, I would start working on them around age 2. And at that age, it would just be maybe trying to use a fork here with using it, bringing food to the mouth, maybe pushing the food around on a plate. The use of a napkin, for example. And then as they get older and they start chewing closed mouth chewing, not trying to talk with the mouth full, things of that nature, asking to pass things, etc., etc. This is a process. Again, we're laying foundations here, so you're going to build it slowly as the child gets older, different responsibilities and different requests when it comes to table manners. But learning table manners is incredibly important because it's a really big part of engaging in society. And as they grow up into adults, professionally and personally, they may be judged based upon their table manners. And so it's really important that they do that. Plus it brings into this idea of the other. So if you're eating politely and engaging politely during a meal, you're making the meal better for everybody else. It's considering the other person, how the other person is going to feel. That is about being gracious. It's also a very big piece of etiquette. Is one of the 3 pillars, as I've spoken about before, of etiquette. Those are being aware of the other person, so being conscious of the other person. It is being honest and being respectful. Those are the 3 really important principles of etiquette. And so you are building upon that with the table manners because you are conscious about how your behavior, your table manners, impact other people. So again, this is another life lesson. And the last point is learning how to politely interrupt. And this is incredibly important because it teaches the children patience, it encourages patience, it encourages empathy because they're thinking about the other person. So you're interrupting them, how are they going to feel? How does it feel to not be able to finish what you're saying? How does it feel to have somebody constantly, asking for something and you're not being very kind about how you're interrupting that person? So it helps them develop empathy because they have to think about their behavior in relation to somebody else and how that person would feel and that they would maybe feel the same way or differently as them. It's part of this empathy development process. And then the last thing is it develops tact. Okay, so learning how to interrupt somebody in a way in which you still achieve what you want, which is to get their attention, but you're getting the positive attention, not the negative attention. That is tact. And that is really important as you grow up and as an adult. As adults, we also need to know how to develop tactful behavior. And this is like a very early age, very beginning, laying those foundations way to do that. So there are many techniques. I have posts on them on my page. It's one of the Manners for Kids videos about interrupting, but the one that I would like to highlight right now is that you can teach your children as they come to you. If they want your attention, they can come to you, place their hand on your hand, and you, to acknowledge them, place the hand on top of their hand, look at them, and then they wait until you speak to them. But by acknowledging them, by putting the hand on top of theirs to say, yes, I see you, looking at them and smiling or indicating you see them, you still can be able to continue with your conversation, but that child knows that you will follow through with what you're saying, you will give them the attention, and that you're happy with how they just did it versus just coming to you and saying, mommy, 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 which is, I know we're probably all used to that as parents. Anyway, so those are my 5 biggest indicators for polite children and what we should try to encourage in our children for polite behavior. So again, they are saying hello, looking people in the eye, saying and using please and thank yous, working on good table manners, and learning how to politely interrupt people when they're in a conversation, especially mom and dad, because those are all really important pieces of etiquette, of polite behavior that are most apparent to people. So when you're out in public in that social setting, and also they're the most important because they lay key foundations for polite behavior for them as they grow up into adulthood. So I hope you like this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please check out the other videos in my series. Thank you very much, and please share with anybody you think that may find this helpful as well. Have a wonderful day.